Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership. In our journey through life and leadership, we encounter countless challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. Sometimes, these challenges come from external sources, but they also can arise from within ourselves. For the clearest understanding of how to overcome negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership, several definitions are vital. Overcome, to get the better of in a struggle or conflict, to conquer, defeat or prevail over, to successfully deal with or gain control of, or to gain the superiority against or over consistently. Negative, having the quality of something harmful, damaging, and unfavorable or being pessimistic, that which hinders and neutralizes, not tending to see the bright side of things, without affirmation or demonstration of the positive. Thought, the process of using the mind to consider something or the product of that process, such as an idea or the thing that you're thinking about. With the preceding definitions, our thoughts, our minds can be our greatest asset, but they can also be our biggest obstacle. Negative thoughts have a way of entering into our minds, undermining our confidence, and holding us back from reaching our full potential. As leaders, it is important to know that we have the ability to take control of our minds, and it all begins with self-leadership. Self-leadership is about taking responsibility for our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's about recognizing that we have the power or ability to choose how we respond to any situation, no matter how challenging it may be. As leaders, we must be constantly aware of our thoughts or how we are thinking. By shining a light on our negative thought patterns, we can begin to challenge them and replace them with more positive and empowering beliefs. The path to self-leadership also carries us to practice self-compassion. It's important to remember that we are only human, and it's natural to experience negative thoughts from time to time. Instead of beating ourselves up for having these thoughts, we must treat ourselves with understanding. Acknowledging that we are doing the best we can with the resources we have, this is how we give ourselves permission to let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is like a double-edged sword. Perfectionism on one side drives us to aim high, to strive for excellence in everything we do. But on the other side, perfectionism can paralyze us with fear of failure, rendering us unable to act or move forward. But here's the truth: perfection is an illusion. Nobody is perfect. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership, includes embracing imperfection. We must understand that making mistakes is not a sign of weakness but a natural part of the learning process. It's through our failures that we grow, that we learn resilience, and that we discover our true strength. Secondly, we must challenge the unrealistic standards we sometimes set for ourselves. No one gets it right all the time. Therefore, to overcome negative thoughts, as leaders we must guard ourselves from perfectionism. Perfectionism often stems from comparing ourselves to others or to an idealized version of success. Overcoming perfectionism in self-leadership maintains a focus on progress, not perfection. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership also means that we surround ourselves with people that are positive and not negative. This further means seeking out and searching for uplifting books, experiences, and opportunities that nourish our minds and thoughts positively. Many scientists have agreed that the mind is the seat of consciousness and awareness, the essence of our being that further governs our character and behavior. One study reports that the mind thinks between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts a day. That's an average of 2,500 to 3,300 thoughts per hour. Other experts estimate 50,000 thoughts per day, which means about 2,100 thoughts per hour. Most of the experts agree that over half of our thoughts are negative. Negative thoughts can impact behavior and shape identity. According to Dr. William Salt, a practitioner of internal medicine in Columbus, Ohio, the brain is the central processing unit of the body and plays a key role in translating the content of the mind, our thoughts, feelings, attitudes, beliefs, memories and imagination, into complex patterns of nerve cell firing and chemical release. The brain and the mind are partners where both play a vital role in the operation of the body that can be likened to a computer. Most experts agree that the computer is faster at doing logical things and computations. However, the brain is better at interpreting the outside world and coming up with new ideas. The brain receives input from our five senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting that lead to a subsequent response or action in the mind. Due to the stimulus provided by our five senses, thoughts or the process of thinking then occurs in the mind. For example, when we touch a stove, our brains and minds immediately partner so that we think that the stove is hot. When we hear the sound of the ambulance in the distance, our brains and minds partner and we may think that there may be an accident up ahead on the road. In other words, our brain signals neurons, which communicates with other neurons or nerve cells that send signals to muscles in our bodies. These nerve cells make us think that the stove is hot, or the sound of the ambulance makes us think there may be an accident ahead on the road. It's the transmission of information, the cells throughout our bodies talking to each other, that provides the fundamental basis for how thinking works. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership rooted in how we think, will sometimes mean confronting our own personal insecurities. It is important to know that insecurity or a lack of confidence is a temporary state of mind, not a permanent personality trait. When we work to overcome our insecurities, we discover that it is possible to overcome those thoughts and emotions that sometimes may be projected on those that we lead. The American Psychological Association defines projection as a defense mechanism by which an individual or leader unconsciously attributes their behaviors, emotions, impulses, undesirable characteristics, and thoughts upon others. When we project our feelings onto others, it can also be an unconscious effort to preserve our self-esteem or sense of self, or to prove that we are not wrong, even when we have erred in our decisions or judgment of a matter. No matter how knowledgeable or experienced a leader may be, none of us are immune to errors in judgment or decision-making. Acknowledgement of fallibility for a leader is not meant to undermine their authority or diminish their contributions. On the contrary, it serves as a reminder of the importance of accountability, transparency, and open dialogue for self-leadership and organizational leadership. An organizational culture of this nature is able and capable of mitigating the challenges of unintentional projection. It can be challenging to identify when someone is intentionally or unintentionally projecting, partly because it may not be apparent to them. Here are some signs to watch out for that might indicate that someone is projecting onto you. Defensiveness. If someone is angry or defensive in a way that doesn't match how you shared your concerns or feedback, they could be projecting their fears onto you. Invalidation. A person projecting may have difficulty acknowledging their emotions or be dismissive and critical of you. Accusations. People who are projecting may make accusations without being able to provide any clear evidence that supports their statements. Lack of responsibility. It can be difficult for someone to recognize when they are projecting onto others. In turn, it's even more challenging for them to accept responsibility for their behavior. If you believe that someone is projecting their feelings and emotions onto you, take a few moments and ask questions to get to the heart of the issue. You might try something like, "I'm trying to understand your perspective. Can you tell me more about your thoughts on this?" Acknowledging their feelings and sharing your own in a non-confrontational or argumentative tone helps those involved to be clear about what you do understand and your thoughts on the matter. Calmly expressing disagreement. Gently let them know you disagree and ask if they are open to honest conversation. Pausing the conversation. If things get too heated, pause the conversation. You can come back to the conversation later when all that are involved have had time to calm down, and are better able to express their views calmly and rationally. We often look up to many leaders with admiration, thinking they have it all figured out, that they are impervious to doubt and insecurity. But the truth is, leaders are human beings that don't always get everything right. We all have our moments of self-doubt, fear of failure, and insecurity. However, the key to effective self-leadership lies not in denying these insecurities, but in facing them head-on and training to overcome them. So, how can we, as leaders, overcome our personal insecurities? Here are a few strategies to consider. Self-awareness. The first step in overcoming personal insecurities is to acknowledge them. Take the time to reflect on your thoughts and emotions and take action as the place to start. Discover and determine, what are the underlying insecurities that are holding you as a leader back? Do you find yourself comparing yourself to others? By understanding yourself better, you can start to address these insecurities more effectively. Challenge your inner critic. We all have that voice in our heads that on occasions will tell us that we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. Instead of letting the inner critic within dictate your actions, challenge, change and overcome your inner critic daily. Ask yourself, is this really true? Am I basing my actions on facts or assumptions? Instead of criticizing yourself, learn to commend yourself. Commending yourself is validating and affirming yourself of the fact that you are good enough, and capable enough because every day you are growing and getting better. Focus on your strengths. It's easy to get caught up in our weaknesses and shortcomings, but remember that you also have strengths and talents. Make a list of your accomplishments, skills, and positive traits. Remind yourself of these strengths whenever you start to feel insecure. Practice self-care. Taking care of your physical and emotional well-being is crucial for overcoming insecurities. Make time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation, whether it's exercise, meditation, or spending time with loved ones. When you prioritize self-care, you'll be better equipped to face challenges with resilience and confidence. Embrace failure. Finally, remember that failure is not the end of the road. It's a natural part of the learning process of developing a mindset of success. Instead of viewing failure as a negative experience or reflection of yourself, see it as an opportunity to grow and improve. Don't get locked in and stuck in the past. Overcoming the negative thoughts and experiences of the past means that brighter days are ahead, because you have the ability to make them brighter. Keep moving forward. Overcoming negative thoughts is a critical skill or catalyst for overcoming our personal insecurities on the path of self-leadership. What this further means is that we are responsible for the thoughts that pass through our minds, because everything that happens in life and leadership begins with a thought. Our predominant thoughts influence our behavior and attitude, and further controls our actions and reactions. Another way to view this point is that thoughts are like a video that plays on the screen of our minds. To make changes in our lives, we must play a different video, a video that lines up with developing the mindset of the overcomer. We cannot stop negative thoughts from entering our minds, but we can develop the ability to overcome negative thoughts. Overcoming negative thoughts, and the path to self-leadership, we must understand this: you are not that negative thought or thoughts that you have about yourself. Learning to let go of mistaken self-opinions, inaccurate views, and unhelpful beliefs doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. As a suggestion, begin with purposeful, daily reflection or reflective thinking. This is a powerful, practical method for shifting our thinking away from the negative to the positive. When we think of the term reflection, our first thought may be what one sees when looking into a mirror or body of water. However, reflection may also be defined as the evidence of the character or quality of something. Quality thinking, or what we call character thinking, is not merely about possessing knowledge, it's about how we engage with the character or substance of that knowledge. Reflective thinking is about approaching every idea, every piece of information, with a sense of open-mindedness that is unbiased and unprejudiced for the sake of greater understanding and learning. Character or quality thinking is the willingness to question, to explore, and to seek understanding beyond the surface level, which sometimes begins with self. It's about asking the right questions and being relentless in the pursuit of answers. This mindset develops the skill to close the door on negative thoughts. When we reflect upon a thought that is negative, reflective thinking becomes a strategy that helps us to change direction and evolve from the negative to that which is positive. When a negative thought occurs, reflect and think. T, is it true? If not, reflect and reject. Hit the delete button in your mind and move forward. H, is it helpful? If not, reflect and reject. Hit the delete button in your mind and move forward. I, is it inspirational? If not, reflect and reject. Hit the delete button in your mind and move forward. N, is it necessary? If not, reflect and reject. Hit the delete button in your mind and move forward. K, is it kind? If not, reflect and reject. Hit the delete button in your mind and move forward. As you delete the negative thought, shift your mind to think of something positive. Quality thinkers, character thinkers, are not satisfied with accepting things at face value. In other words, as leaders we don't have to take the negative thought. Develop the ability to reflect and reject on the path of self-leadership, which makes us better and more effective. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership, includes the recognition that we don't know everything, and that there is always more to learn, and are not afraid to admit when we are wrong, or when we don't have all the answers. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership also means that every discussion is approached with a willingness to listen, to consider alternative viewpoints, and to revise our own beliefs as needed in light of new evidence. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership is further evidenced by intellectual integrity. It's about being honest with ourselves and others, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Quality thinkers, character thinkers, are not swayed by personal biases or ulterior motives, they prioritize truth and accuracy above all else. Additionally, we must practice gratitude. Gratitude has the power to shift our focus from what's wrong to what's right in our lives. By taking time each day to reflect on the things we are grateful for, we can cultivate a mindset of abundance and peace that helps to keep negative thoughts at bay. This practice creates environments that support our growth and development and minimize the influence of negativity and toxic people. By becoming aware of our thoughts, practicing self-compassion, surrounding ourselves with the positive and refusing the negative, practicing gratitude, and taking action, we can take control of our minds and create the life and become the leader that we truly desire. Overcoming negative thoughts, the path to self-leadership is the beginning of our lifelong leadership journey. In conclusion, former President Barack Obama once stated, "The future rewards those who press on." I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. On the never-ending journey of leadership, how I lead myself today and press on through my hardships will impact and influence my tomorrows.